Hello. What the fuck?
Okay. Good boy. Good boy. Stay. Sit. Sit. Sit.
The tent.
Some encounters don't rely on screams or sudden attacks. They leave you unsettled because nothing about them makes sense. In this video, a strange figure emerges near an abandoned tunnel, and the location itself raises questions after mentions of Area 51. No explanation fits, and no answers ever come. So what do you think was really caught on camera, a person, an animal, or something still unexplained? A small group of friends was spending time on a well-known hiking trail following a routine they had maintained for months. They met once each month, selecting a different route every time as a way to reconnect, unwind, and enjoy the outdoors. That day felt no different. The mood was relaxed as they laughed, talked, and paused occasionally to take photos and selfies. Everything about the hike felt ordinary and secure. That sense of ease changed suddenly. Stopping for pictures, one of them noticed movement in the nearby trees. A man slowly emerged from the woods and stepped onto the trail. What stood out wasn't only his presence, but how out of place he appeared. He wasn't dressed for hiking, no backpack, no proper footwear, no gear, just everyday clothing that didn't fit the terrain. The group later said he seemed disoriented. His movements were unstable and his behavior was difficult to read. In that moment, laughter disappeared, replaced by a quiet instinct that something wasn't right. The group immediately adjusted how they behaved. They stopped filming casually and spoke quietly among themselves, evaluating the situation. Warnings they had heard before, and stories they'd seen online came to mind. They reminded each other to stay close, stay alert, and return to their car calmly. As they continued along the trail, the fear wasn't loud or panicked, it was controlled. They didn't run, and they didn't interact with the man. Still, the uneasy feeling followed them. At several moments, they felt as though they might be watched or followed. Instead of stopping to check, they stayed together and kept moving, focused only on getting back safely. Eventually, they reached their vehicle and left without further incident. There was no confrontation and no clear explanation for who the man was or why he was there. Later, the group shared the clip as a reminder that awareness matters even during peaceful activities like hiking. Nature isn't always as empty as it appears, and sometimes the most unsettling moments are quiet ones when instinct tells you to leave and you listen. Do you think this was harmless or something that could have turned much worse? Shaylee Wanders, a travel creator, was camped beside a lake, taking in the quiet setting and air. Everything shifted when she stepped away from the tent to use the restroom during daylight.
I'm currently sitting in a field of talus with no shoes, climbed up here in socks. I was in the tent getting ready to come out and go to the bathroom. I heard something that sounded very big outside. About 5 seconds later, I had a bear claw in my tent. Kind of peeked my head out of the tent flap, so deployed my bear spray. That backed him off enough for me to get out of the tent.
She was lucky to leave the shelter when she did, because what came next revealed how fast an ordinary camping trip could have turned into a deadly situation.
And at that point, I could kind of tell that he was more interested in the tent. They are still in the woods that are, so like tents down there, and they are like in here. There's my holder. Sleeping bag. And this is what's left of our tent.
In the end, she made it home unharmed and safe after a confrontation that many would not survive. The bear spray seemed to work as intended, creating enough space for her to get away. Where do you think the line between adventure and risk should be drawn? Connor does. Adventures is a YouTube creator who shares trips and explorations alongside friends. Most of their content features harmless adventures, whether that involves hiking through forests, traveling across desert landscapes, or exploring abandoned sites with nothing ever seriously going wrong. But in one specific video uploaded on September 8th, 2018, something happens that has never been clearly explained.
Hello everyone, it's the Seco Dane. So, tonight, we're gonna do a little desert exploring. Can you see me in the camera?
Yeah, you just need the light.
So, tonight, we're gonna, dude, this thing is so dumb, holy crap. Some desert exploring in our wash. This is Braden's first time. So yeah, it's just me and him tonight. So,
Let's start.
So we were gonna go to the tunnels.
It's a kitty cat.
Freaking heck, dude, I keep running it. Okay, this light likes to start. Okay, so there's a wash over here. Oh my gosh.
It sucks, bro.
At the start, they are casually walking down a dusty road, heading deeper into the desert toward an abandoned tunnel. Connor and his friend seem at ease, acting like many young explorers do while visiting places they likely shouldn't. As the footage continues, though, the mood begins to change, and the situation slowly grows more unsettling.
What?
Oh, I don't know, I thought I saw something. Can you see that? Look through the...
I don't know.
Okay, carry on.
Dude, I'm like shaking.
Last time I was out here and I was like freaking 12. I don't even know how I had the guts.
I know. Something's just gonna grab you.
That's you brushing up against that.
Dude, shine your light right here.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh my gosh, dude. No way. Okay.
Holy... What? Hello?
Dude. Hey.
Hello? Dude.
Okay, we get it.
Wait.
It's funny. Know why you're scaring us.
Dude. I don't even feel comfortable going. Where are we supposed to be?
I bet you it's...
Where are we supposed to be?
just-
Oh my gosh, dude.
Okay, it's not funny. It's like right there, dude. Oh my gosh.
Dude, that thing's not human. I'm serious. That thing's huge.
I bet you it is just a kid. Okay, we get it, it's funny.
It's a big kid. Okay, let's just walk.
Alright. Okay, we're just gonna...
Screw you.
Seriously. I hate retards who do that.
They begin to hear unusual sounds coming from nearby bushes, quiet noises but unmistakably real. At first, they brush it off, believing someone nearby might be trying to scare them. That belief doesn't last long. When they finally reach the tunnel, it becomes clear that whatever is happening is not a joke.
No, I'm gonna have to flipping book it if something comes running out.
Dude. Oh.
Okay. Dude, we gotta go! Dude, that thing's booking it! Go! Dude, I'm trying! Oh, shoot, go! Dude, go! Gosh! Dude! He's right there!
From the darkness, something appears. A small, odd figure crawls out, barely human in appearance, and moving in a way that's hard to explain. Some viewers have suggested the footage could be CGI. However, the video was uploaded over 7 years ago, and given how young the creators were at the time, creating something that realistic seems doubtful. Earlier in the video, they mentioned being near Area 51, which has fueled speculation. Without drawing conclusions, some viewers question whether the location itself could be connected to what shows up on camera. There is no clear explanation. Whatever was recorded remains unexplained and far from normal. Do you believe this was a mistaken person, an animal, or something that still hasn't been explained? In September 2018, YouTuber Christina Lynn, recognized for her outdoor and hiking videos, went camping in California. While walking along the John Muir Trail toward her campsite, What started as an exhausting day slowly shifted into an unsettling experience.
So I'm in my parents' garden and I am going to tell the scariest story. To give a little bit of context, called the John Muir Trail. It took us about a month to do, me and my friend. We backpacked the whole thing. The scariest moment happened about 1 week or so into our trip. We had been camping, just the two of us. We had been hiking for like 12 hours that day. We were really tired, so we went to go get a campsite, settle down, and maybe like find our camp a little bit earlier that day. So we kind of camped at a place that was like the side of the trail. We had camped pretty much all on our own, but it was on the side of the trail, so we were a little bit exposed to the other people who were passing.
She was not alone on the journey, as a close friend was hiking beside her. Instead of choosing a secluded spot away from foot traffic, they decided to set up their tents directly next to the trail. At the time, it felt like a practical choice, but it would later turn out to be risky.
So we both had separate tents. We would set up our tents right next to each other, but we weren't actually in the same tent. We go to sleep, everything is going just fine. I want to say around 5 o'clock in the morning, I see a light outside my tent and I hear footsteps with the light, and maybe my friend's just going pee outside. So then the footsteps start slowly walking around my tent with the light shining into my tent. And later I was talking to my friend, she said she was doing the exact same thing in her tent, like hoping that it was me walking around and trying not to freak out, but it felt like a half hour. Like, it felt so long. I was so frightened. And so I hear the footsteps get closer and then they stop at the outside of my tent, right at the door. Like, I just can't take it any longer. I'm just sitting in my tent, like getting freaked out. So I unzip my tent. There is a man I do not know standing outside of my tent, staring at me. In the meantime, my friend is sitting in her tent and she thinks that he's unzipping my tent, trying to get in. So I'm like, "Who are you?" And he says, "I'm Jack." He doesn't say anything. So Jack kind of stares at me and he just gives me like the creepiest look, trying to act aggressive still, even though I'm like terrified in the meantime. He kind of just seemed like he was like in a daze. Like, he just said, "Oh, I thought this was my friend's tent. On the side of the trail is his friend's tent. And even if he did, why would he try to get into it in the meantime?" So I was like, "Yeah, your friends aren't here." And then I zipped up my tent. So then I heard the footsteps slowly walking away from the tent. And I figured, like, okay, I'm gonna be safe.
They went to sleep, and for most of the night everything seemed normal. The forest stayed quiet and nothing appeared out of place. However, the situation changed when a man started acting strangely near their campsite. His behavior and explanation left both women uncertain, causing them to wonder whether it was an innocent misunderstanding or something far more serious. The man eventually walked away, allowing them to rest again. But by morning, the women were stunned by what they found, confirming that someone had stayed uncomfortably close throughout the night.
So then I wake up the next morning and I talk to my friend and I'm like, "Oh my God," I unzip her tent. I'm like, "Oh my God, like, what happened last night?" We look behind our tent and Jack is sleeping on the ground behind our tent. He's just sleeping on the ground behind our tent. So we kind of go up to him thinking like maybe it was all some big misunderstanding this whole time. "Were you looking for your friends?" He goes, "Ha ha ha. Yeah, looking for my friends." And then that day we hiked out off the John Muir Trail and I bought a knife that was bigger than my head to carry on me in my tent after that moment.
Unsure of the man's intentions, Christina and her friend quickly left the forest and ended their trip. As often mentioned, the wilderness is not always the greatest danger. Sometimes people present the larger threat. Thankfully, both women made it out unharmed. The man's actions could suggest confusion or deliberate intent, but no clear answer exists. Do you think this was a misunderstanding or a dangerous situation avoided by sheer luck? On January 1st, 2024, Belgian YouTuber Siaz uploaded a video to his channel titled "The Night I'll Never Forget." From the opening moments, the video feels unsettling, beginning with a warning about the disturbing content viewers are about to see. That message alone establishes the tone for everything that follows.
Ik ga deze video beginnen met een korte disclaimer. Het kunnen zeer schokkende beelden zijn als je deze video wilt uitkijken of niet. Ik heb iets heel heftigs meegemaakt. Iets wat ik nog nooit in mijn leven heb meegemaakt. Dit kan alleen in films bestaan. Als ik het nu allemaal ga vertellen, lijkt het allemaal zo ongeloofwaardig. Dus jullie gaan alles gewoon kunnen zien. Zelfs in deze video. Ik ben nu een tijdje stilgevallen met dagelijks vloggen, omdat ik dit gewoon even moest verwerken. Dat krijg ik er niet meer uit. Zo'n 6, 7, 8 jaar lang doe ik al urbex en bezoek ik al verlaten locaties. En ook superveel in de nacht. Maar nooit zoiets heftigs als een paar dagen geleden in de nacht. Ik ga heel snel een beetje vertellen. Ik was met 3 vrienden naar een verlaten camping geweest midden in een bos, waar ik al 2 keer eigenlijk ben geweest. En de laatste keer was legit een jaar geleden. Een paar dagen geleden zijn we teruggegaan naar dat bos in de nacht, want dat is een super nice verlaten camping bungalow die ons absoluut niet in dat bos wou hebben.
Siaz explains that he and 2 friends chose to explore an abandoned bungalow park in Belgium. It was a place they had visited before without any issues, and nothing strange had ever happened during previous trips. This time, though, the atmosphere felt different, almost as soon as they arrived, creating a sense that something was off.
Privaat, dit is een plaats van gebed. Gelief onze ruimte respecteren. Gebed. En daar staat op, pas op, waken. Mobile homes midden in het bos, allemaal verspreid, super vet. En ineens is hier een waakhond.
Je ook gewoon binnen.
Ja, dat is waar, want dat is niet afgezet.
Niks,
Hè? Als je verder parkeert, dan wandelt hier binnen. Maar dat is hier veranderd tot een gebedding, want wat staat hierop? Dit is een gebedplaats. Dat is hier gewoon een zigeunerkamp of een hippie-camping of zo geworden.
Hallo?
Hoort je het? Die deur, die wint niet. Ik hoor zo...
Nee, dat was een beest.
Zeker?
Ja.
Dat is een deur, hè?
Hallo?
Kijk, de wind ook gaan, ja.
Schijnens, hè.
Oh, ik hoor van alles hier. Dit is f***ing eng. Oh, maat.
Hallo? Mogen wij hier binnenkomen?
Wacht even.
Dit is zo creepy, maat. Ja, hoor. Hoor, daar is. Dat is daar rechts. Muziek, JBL Partybox on the go. Ja, maar het zijn hippies of zo.
Nee, ja.
Die paal, dat kop ik in de hubo en ik stik die paal hier in de grond. Daar ziet je een hutje. Dit hier, dat is een soort van hutje en daar staat een fiets bij.
As they traveled farther into the area, they came across a barrier marked with a sign indicating a place of prayer. Already uneasy because of the unexpected warning, they decided to continue exploring and look around instead of turning back. It was there that they encountered something that would remain with them long after the night was over.
What the f***, dat is toch niet mijn auto of zo, hè? Hier, maat. Hier wordt letterlijk iemand gemarteld. Hier wordt letterlijk iemand gemarteld in dat bos. Daar is geen licht, kijk. Daar is geen licht. Dat is heel fucked. Wat? Kom gewoon verder. Stel je voor, dat was mijn auto. Wat de f*** is dit, kerel? Ja, wat, ze komen daar. Ik zie ze. Ja, die komt naar hier. Kom naar hier. Blijf gewoon hier. Lamp aan of niet? Hallo. What the f***? What the f***? Hey! Oh. Wat? Kom.
Without warning, disturbing shouting echoed from deeper within the woods. The group immediately turned off their lights, and moments later they noticed a figure moving toward them. As it came closer, they realized it was a woman holding an axe. Panic set in instantly, and the 3 friends separated, running in different directions through the dark forest. Siaz eventually managed to find a place to hide and was able to contact the police.
Ja, wacht. Hallo? Moet nu naar hier komen. Fuck. Ik hoor u niet, sorry. We zitten hier in een bos in de Centerlo. We zijn hier in een bos en ineens komt er een man met een mes of zoiets op ons af. Ik denk dat mijn auto kapot is geslagen. En we zijn vies. Kom alsjeblieft heel snel. Oké, ik heb de politie gebeld. Dus what the fuck is dit?
Later reports revealed that the woman lived near the abandoned area and suffered from severe mental illness. The experience left Siaz shaken for months afterward. being chased through the woods in complete darkness by someone carrying an axe is the kind of encounter that stays with you permanently. Mental illness may explain her behavior, but the danger was still real. What would you have done in this situation? In October 2024, a YouTuber known as Prezade, well known for recording unsettling and suspense-driven outdoor experiences, decided to push himself further than before. The plan was simple: a solo overnight camping trip deep inside the forest. From the moment he arrived, the atmosphere felt different.
Alright guys, I just got dropped off with all my stuff, but I was walking just barely with my stuff and I heard a giant crash over there, over in that direction. It literally sounded like a tree falling over. I don't know what that was. I just really hope there's not people in this forest. I'm probably gonna inflate my air mattress and set up my bed. I just heard sticks now. I'm not even kidding. They came from like over that way. I'm hoping that's just the wind. Alright, now we got but once I lay down and my weight disperses, it's... Is that a gunshot? I literally think I just heard a gunshot. I don't know if that picked up on camera.
Not long after being dropped off with his equipment, a sudden crashing sound echoed nearby, something heavy hitting the ground, possibly a falling tree. The noise came from deeper within the woods, in an area with no visible paths. Although shaken, he brushed it off as coincidence. As he continued setting up camp, more strange sounds followed: breaking branches, shifting leaves, and what he believed might have been a distant gunshot. Even with the growing unease, he chose to continue, determined not to abandon the plan.
Guys, I just woke up. It's like 2 a.m. and I just heard footsteps outside of the tent. Literally woke me up. It was so loud. They went away though. I don't know. I feel like I kind of want to go out and check, but I'm kind of scared too. I think we're gonna go out and check. I might just walk around and look at the area. There's my bike. The footsteps came from like over here. They sounded like it was right here. My tent is right there. Guys, look at this. There's something floating right here. Look at that. That's cool. Whoa. Whoa, there's a moth attacking me. It's attacking my light. Yeah, I really don't know. Wait, guys, what is this? Some sort of marking on the tree. It's kind of creepy. I wonder what that's for. It's so creepy over here, over this way. I'm gonna just walk around for a minute though, I guess.
As darkness settled in, he retreated into his tent and attempted to sleep. Around 2 o'clock in the morning, he was jolted awake. Heavy footsteps moved around the tent loud enough to pull him instantly from sleep. When the sound stopped, he hesitated, unsure whether to remain hidden or investigate. Eventually, curiosity won out. With a flashlight in hand, he stepped outside. The air was completely still. His bike remained untouched nearby. He slowly scanned the area, retracing the direction the sounds had come from. That's when he noticed something unusual, a carved marking or symbol on a nearby tree. He couldn't identify its meaning, but its presence made the situation more unsettling. Beyond that, nothing else revealed itself. Aside from insects and shifting shadows, the forest was silent. Believing the immediate danger had passed, or at least that nothing was nearby, he returned to the tent and lay back down. But the night wasn't finished. Sometime later, another sound broke the silence, closer, louder, and far more alarming than before.
I'm not sleeping here. I am not sleeping here. I'm shaking so bad. packing my stuff and I'm getting out of here. I legit forgot I was recording that. I'm shaking so bad. Look at my hand. Look at my hand.
This time, fear took control. He didn't wait to investigate. Shaking, he hurriedly packed his gear and left the campsite under the cover of darkness. Was it simply fear amplified by isolation and exhaustion? Or was something or someone deliberately following him through the woods? The unexplained marking on the tree, combined with the precise timing of the noises, suggests it may not have been random. What if he had ignored the second sound and stayed? Would morning have arrived? Or something else? Sometimes danger doesn't announce itself. It waits, silently, just beyond the tent. We begin with a disturbing account involving a solo camper who became the target of a sudden and violent attack. On February 22, 2024, Carol, the creator behind the YouTube channel Glorious Life on Wheels, shared the story of a female nomad whose quiet journey abruptly turned into a nightmare. The incident occurred during a solo car camping trip in Cortez, Arizona. The attack took place in the early morning hours, sometime between 100 and 200 a.m., while the camper was asleep inside her vehicle after a long day on the road.
On the morning of Tuesday, February 20th, she was asleep in her car. And all of a sudden, her dog started just going wild, barking. And around the same time, she heard an OTV, like a ATV, like one of those dune buggy type of off-road vehicles, pulling up into her campground and up to alongside of her vehicle. Now, she wasn't sure exactly, because it happened so fast. She wasn't sure whether it was her dogs that woke her up, their barking, or whether it was her hearing the ATV driving up that woke her. But anyhow, she was in a deep sleep, so she was kind of groggy, and she's starting to wake up, you know. And you know how when you're waking up, you're just kind of trying to get your bearings? And all of a sudden, now she's lying down, and it's just, you know, kind of, I don't know if she was just raised up a little bit, trying to wake up to see what's going on.
According to Carol's account, the camper was abruptly awakened when her dogs began barking uncontrollably. Almost simultaneously, she heard the sound of an off-road vehicle, possibly an ATV, pulling in close to her campsite. Still half asleep and disoriented, she tried to understand what was happening. Then, without any warning, the situation escalated.
That she had her head on, because her head was apparently just below the window. So when it shattered, a lot of the glass came right down onto her face and the area right around her chest. You can get a better idea from these pictures how much glass was on her pillow and also on the side and throughout her car. If you look, you can see there's not that much glass at the top of the pillow. The reason for that is because most of the glass that came down that would have come onto the top of the pillow actually came down and shattered, falling onto her face and her shoulders. When I spoke with her, she was still very, very shaken up and very traumatized, and you could tell by her speech and the tenor of her voice. But the police were summoned, the courtside police were summoned, and they did come out. She shared with me, however, that she was so shaken up when the police came out that she didn't realize that she was bleeding all up and down either one or both of her legs. She had glass everywhere on at least one of her legs. And the person who contacted me to tell me about this episode said that she tried to help. I'm going to call the victim T. She tried to help T, and she administered alcohol and was actually pulling the glass out of her legs because she was bleeding so badly. But again, like I said, she was so traumatized, she didn't even realize how seriously she was injured and that she had cuts up and down her legs.
A sudden violent impact broke the silence, followed by the sound of shattering glass. The vehicle's windows had been smashed. Glass fragments sprayed across her body into her hair, her mouth, and even her eyes. She later reported that she continued finding pieces of glass in her ears hours later. Her clothes and skin were covered in fine shards, making even small movements painful. Photographs taken afterward showed glass scattered across her pillow and throughout the inside of the car, with the heaviest concentration where her head and upper body had been resting. In the immediate aftermath, she hadn't even realized she was bleeding. It wasn't until others arrived to help that the severity of her injuries became clear. Deep cuts lined her legs, running both upward and downward. One person began carefully removing glass from her skin and cleaning the wounds with alcohol. At the time, the victim was too shaken to fully process what had happened. Law enforcement was contacted and an investigation was opened, but no suspects were ever identified. The victim later received medical treatment and fortunately made a full recovery. What makes this case even more unsettling is what happened earlier that same evening. Another woman camping alone in the area reported being approached by a group she found suspicious. Trusting her instincts, she left before the situation escalated. It is believed that had she stayed, she may have faced a similar or even worse outcome. While this incident did not involve wildlife or the paranormal, it highlights a harsh reality in remote places. Human threats can be far more dangerous than anything else. The sequence of events suggests the attack was deliberate, possibly intended to intimidate or carry out a robbery. If the camper had been fully awake, could she have escaped before the windows were shattered? Or was the timing intentional, chosen because she was asleep? This case serves as a grim reminder. Even when you're alone, you're never truly isolated. And sometimes the most dangerous presence out there walks on two legs. There is a YouTube channel that draws viewers into the shadowed edges of the natural world, sharing unsettling stories and eerie encounters that take place far from the comfort of civilization. On June 4th, 2024, the creator uploaded a video from what was supposed to be an ordinary solo camping trip. This time, however, he wasn't completely alone. His dog was with him, a trusted companion he often relied on for protection in isolated environments. The trip began calmly. After setting up camp, he sat quietly and absorbed the stillness around him. But as the evening progressed, that sense of peace slowly began to fade.
And I'm a little shook up right now because I heard some strange sounds. Stay here, Mika. Stay here. It sounded like some sort of growling. I'm not sure. I wasn't recording. I was just enjoying my night. And hello? Shh. It's okay. I'm just talking to my dog right now. What the? Mika, stay here. Stay. Come, stay. There, good boy. Good boy, stay, sit. Sit down. Hello? What the fuck?
Unfamiliar sounds drifted from beyond the tree line, deep, rough, and difficult to identify. At first, he assumed it could be a bear or another animal moving through the forest. Even so, the noises continued, and they didn't feel right. His dog suddenly became tense, staying close and refusing to move away. Its ears locked toward a single direction. The behavior was unusual, as if it was reacting to something unseen. Cautiously, the camper stepped away from the tent to check the area. With every step into the darkness, the sounds seemed to grow stronger.
There's been a lot of dead trees around. Maybe it's... Mika! Oh no. Come on. Mika! Oh no. Mika! Come back. This dog is... Come here. What are you doing? Stay here. What's out there, boy? all right? Stay. Sit.
He tried to reason through what he was hearing, but the atmosphere felt heavier and his discomfort increased. Before long, he called his dog back and returned to camp unsettled and confused. Whatever had been out there, if anything at all, never showed itself. Still, the feeling of being watched lingered. Later, while reviewing the footage, he realized how lucky he had been, not just to record the experience, but to leave the area without being harmed. Could it have been a normal wildlife encounter? Possibly, but the dog's reaction, defensive, unwilling to advance, suggests it may have sensed something more. Some believe animals can detect things humans simply cannot. If he had taken just a few more steps into the trees, would he have come back? Out in the wilderness, danger doesn't always make itself known. Sometimes it waits, quietly, just beyond the beam of your flashlight.